All right, let's talk about Warren Buffett. We're going to break down this one single mental tool he uses that could, really could, change how you make pretty much every decision. It's called the 20-slot system.
So let me ask you this. What if everything you think you know about success is just wrong? You know, that frantic hustle, always chasing the next big thing. What if that's actually holding you back? We're going to look at a completely different way to think about success, and it's way more effective. Okay, when you picture a billionaire investor, what comes to mind? Probably those crazy trading floors, right? Phones ringing off the hook, luxury offices, back-to-back meetings. But Warren Buffett's reality? It's the complete opposite. He spends most of his day just sitting and reading. And that huge difference? That's the whole key to his genius. And get this, that quiet, simple approach has built a staggering $900 billion empire. That is not luck. It's a system. So the real question is, how on earth does it work?
Okay, let's dive right into this mystery. We're calling it the billionaire's paradox. It's all about that shocking gap between his super simple habits and his, well, absolutely extraordinary results.
We tend to think success has to be complicated, right? Really sophisticated. But then you have one of the wealthiest people on the entire planet starting his day with McDonald's and a bunch of Coke. And you know what? That isn't just some funny quirk. It's a clue.
So the big question is, how does a routine that looks kind of undisciplined lead to one of the most disciplined financial records in history? Well, the answer is all about where he chooses to apply his focus. And trust me, it is not where you'd expect.
So the first piece of this puzzle is what we can call his engine, the thing that gives him this unbeatable edge. It's all about knowledge compounding. And this right here shows his priority perfectly. Think about it. While other CEOs are just trapped in meetings all day, Buffett is managing information. A full 80% of his day, 80%, is just reading and thinking. He's just constantly getting a deeper and deeper understanding of how the world works. And here's Buffett himself explaining it. He connects his most famous idea, compound interest, to his daily habit. See, he looks at knowledge as an asset that compounds over time. Every single page he reads is like adding more money to the principal, which makes all his future insights that much more valuable.
So the big takeaway here is that the goal isn't to be the busiest person in the room. Not at all. The goal is to make a few but exceptionally smart decisions. And to do that, you absolutely need that huge compounded base of knowledge.
And all of that reading, all that thinking, it's all just preparation for this one, single, game-changing mental model. This is the secret, the thing that ties it all together. It's called the 20-slot punch card.
Okay, I want you to imagine this. Imagine someone hands you a punch card, and it only has 20 slots on it. And every single time you make a big investment or a major life decision, you have to punch a hole in it. Once all 20 of those slots are punched, you're done. That's it, forever.
Just 20. Let that really sink in for a second. We're not talking 20 a year, not even 20 a decade. 20 for your entire life. How differently would you behave if you knew every major choice you made was that final, that precious?
This little mental trick, it's an incredibly powerful filter. It just instantly kills that fear of missing out, you know? You stop chasing every shiny new thing that comes along, and you start asking a much, much tougher question. Is this opportunity really good enough to use up one of my 20 lifetime slots?
And look, this isn't just about investing in stocks, not by a long shot. Think of it as a framework for your career, for your relationships, for big projects, really anything that demands your time and your energy. It's a system for making you focus on what actually truly matters.
So, what does this life rule actually look like in practice? Well, let's break down how this 20-slot mindset is basically the root system for all of Buffett's other famous habits.
Okay, first up, the circle of competence. It makes perfect sense, right? If you've only got 20 punches, you absolutely cannot afford to gamble on stuff you don't completely understand. You have to become a deep, deep expert in a pretty narrow field. This is exactly why Buffett famously sat out the tech boom for so many years.
Then there's his famous frugality. And people get this wrong. It's not about being cheap. It's about being ready. He lives simply so that when one of those true 20-slot opportunities finally shows up, he's got the cash, the capital to jump on it. He saves his resources for the moments that really, really count.
And finally, his total rejection of multitasking.
He keeps his calendar almost completely empty. Why? Because a 20-slot decision requires deep, focused, uninterrupted thought. And this is a huge one. Your job isn't to be busy. Your job is to be right when it matters most.
Okay, so we've kind of decoded the system. Now, let's turn this whole thing around and point it at ourselves. How can you apply this incredibly powerful idea to your own life?
The biggest takeaway, the thing to really remember is this. Success isn't about chasing every opportunity out there. It's about building your own internal discipline. It's about building up that knowledge base and then, and this is the hard part, having the patience to wait for the few opportunities that actually deserve one of your precious slots.
So, here's your action plan. Step 1, you have to be brutally honest with yourself about your circle of competence. What do you really understand better than most? And step 2, define what an amazing opportunity actually looks like for you. What are the criteria that make something so good, so certain, that it's worth using up one of your precious few slots? And that's the question we're going to leave you with. This simple but really profound idea is a tool for finding clarity in a super noisy world. Remember, your time, your energy, your focus, it's all finite. You have 20 slots. What are you going to do with them?
He's got another great way to think about this. Buffett's real genius isn't just about what he decides to buy. It's about all the things he avoids. His true superpower, when you boil it all down, is the incredible discipline to just say no and wait and wait.
He actually has a simple but brilliant little system for this. It's called the 5-25 rule, and you can try this right now. First, write down a list of 25 things you want to achieve. Then circle your top 5, the most important ones. Now, what about the other 20? You might think that's your B list. Nope. That becomes your avoid at all costs list. Why? Because those are the really dangerous distractions. They're just interesting enough to pull you away from the few things that truly matter.
So, I've got to ask you, take a hard look at your own to-do list. How many of those things are actually in that dangerous zone, somewhere between item 6 and 25? They feel productive, sure. They even feel important. But are they secretly pulling you away from the handful of goals that will truly define your success?
So what's powering all of this incredible patience, this laser focus? It all comes down to one single core psychological trait. It's the foundation of his entire philosophy, and it's something Buffett calls his inner scorecard.
To explain it, Buffett asks this kind of weird but absolutely brilliant question. He says, would you rather be the world's greatest lover, but have everyone in the world think you're the worst? Or would you rather be the world's worst lover, but have everyone think you're the absolute greatest? Your answer to that question reveals pretty much everything about what really drives you.
See, most of us, whether we realize it or not, are living by an outer scorecard. We're driven by external praise, by what other people think of us, what looks good on paper, how we're perceived. Buffett, on the other hand, lives his life by his inner scorecard. He measures his own success by his own standards, not by what the world is shouting about.
And look, this isn't just some abstract theory. It's literally how the man lives. He's still in the same house he bought back in 1958. He drives a normal car. It's not about being cheap. It's about being genuinely indifferent to what other people think. His insane wealth is really just a byproduct of him playing his own game by his own rules and for his own satisfaction.
So the ultimate question this all leaves us with is a simple one. Whose scorecard are you living by? The crowd's or your own? Are you spending your life building something that looks good to everybody else? Or are you building a life that feels right to you? Because at the end of the day, the only applause that truly matters is your own.